we're not going to be able to change things on a dime. But if we allow our voices to be heard and we step up and speak up like Bob talked about, we can slow this mess down until we get an opportunity to change the leadership in the House and the Senate. I know we got 3.5 more years of President Obama, but we only have another 1.5 years of this Democrat-controlled Congress. We can do something about that and slow it down. The last time I checked, we still have 3 branches. Unfortunately, 2 of them are in cahoots right now. It makes it difficult to slow this stuff down. And so my first message to you is we the people still are in charge. We the people are in charge of this country. You, me, your constituency. And one of the messages that you ought to say to every group that you talk to is the fact that our vote counts and our voice counts. Because too many people are discouraged. And as another indicator that people are waking up and they don't want to take it anymore, that they're not just concerned anymore, they are fearful because of how fast some of this stuff is being rammed through Washington, D.C. They are fearful. I had a caller and said, can we stop it? I said, we can't stop it, but we can slow it down. Well, if they get all of that socialism stuff passed, will we be able to reverse it? Yes, it'll be difficult, but the best thing is to slow it down so we don't end up with all of that stuff. And so that's a message that we have to share with all of our constituencies. You have a constituency in your state, your district, wherever you are. Share that message. Their vote counts and their voice counts. But because of the technological age and because of the overabundance of ways for people to get information and disinformation, we can't just express our voice through our vote on election day. We also have to express our voice in between election day, often, regularly, and collectively. Just like we were able to slow down that cap and trade and tax and kill legislation with our voices. We've got to do the same thing relative to health reform legislation. Not one of the ideas in the House version will help health care in America. And collectively, all of the ideas, if they are allowed to get away with it, will totally deform the best health care in the world if we allow that to happen. We cannot allow that to happen. That health care legislation that they are trying to ram through makes about as much sense as universal grocery insurance. That might be next, Bob. They're going to mandate that all employers must provide their employees with grocery insurance. And if you don't provide it, you're going to pay an 8% penalty for not providing grocery insurance. Such that with the government option, that is supposed to be an option, everybody will be able to eat. Everybody will be able to just eat, go to the grocery store, and just take stuff off the shelves and put it in the cart. Isn't that how we're supposed to do with health care? We just go shopping at the hospital. Don't worry about the cost or the prices. And then when the grocer starts to complain that he can't keep up with demand, what does the government do best? Regulate, tax. and mandate that now you can only allow each family to have 4 cans of pork and beans a week. Because you see, that health care legislation puts us directly in the middle of that road to socialized medicine, which leads to rationing, which leads to waiting to die. And one of the things that too many of the American people allow them to get away with is, all you got to do is look at the experience in some other countries. They're in denial. They're truly in denial, and too many of the sheeple let them get away with it. You got people and sheeple, and right now, the people are outnumbered by the sheeple. And that's part of the problem that we face. But we are still in charge. And to add insult to injury, this Congress and this president is trying to ram through a $787 billion blind stimulus bill because nobody read it. A cap and trade and tax and kill bill that was also blind because nobody read it. And now this version of the health reform legislation that came out of the House, came out of committee that they're supposed to be debating, it's blind also. Nobody's reading it. One of my spies in Washington, D.C. sent me an email this morning that said on page 16 of the bill, that government health insurance option you've been hearing about, it's not an option. Breaking news. Go to page 16. Breaking news. Not an option. And one of the reasons that they're trying to move at such a rapid pace is to throw so much on the wall at one time that a lot of people just give up and give in and not even try. But that's where you and I come in, because we can never give up. We can never give in. Because if we do, it's not going to be us that suffers. It's not even going to be most of our children that will suffer. It's like Bob said, it will be our grandchildren that will suffer the most. And if you don't believe the power of the voice, let me give you a very recent example that we experienced right here in Georgia. 6 months ago, I started an organization, an online citizen activist group called Intelligent Thinkers Movement. You don't have to take a qualifying exam. The Intelligent Thinkers Movement, Bob, and it's online. And basically what we do is when critical issues come up in Washington that are going to be voted on, we basically activate people to make phone calls and send emails. When I first started this, I really wasn't sure how well it was going to work. But I found out very quickly that it works pretty darn good. Representative Tom Graves here in Georgia, who you all are going to give an award to, quite deservingly. Tom, would you mind standing up, please? I'm very proud of Tom for a lot of reasons. Tom Graves, Representative Graves.